Hi babes, my name's Sophia and I run Head Blush Makeup, which is all about bright, bold, fun, creative, colourful makeup for babes of any gender. I like to have a lot of fun with makeup. I like a lot of colour, as you can guess. I'm going to be bringing that into my makeup today and sharing a little pride tutorial with you. Now I'm going to be doing the pride flag that I identify with, which is the Philadelphia rainbow flag. That's what I'm going to call it because I'm not sure what else to refer to it as. But that is the 6-colour rainbow flag with an additional 2 colours, which are black and brown, to bring greater visibility to people of colour within the LGBTQ+ community and their issues. I'm going to be using these Juvia's Place eyeshadows because they're my fave. They're super pigmented and amazing and don't require me to put down a base, which I like because I like to be as fuss-free as possible. I'm also going to be using this Certify eyeshadow palette because I don't have a good blue in that other one. And I'm going to be using the black and brown from this palette. Other than that, what you could use if you don't have shadows that are as pigmented, obviously you can go for a pared down look anyway. This is going to be pretty in your face because I'm pretty in your face, but you can use something like this, which is the Revolution Pro, what's it called? Pigment pomade. So something that resembles your skin tone or is lighter. You could even use a straight white and just put that where we're going to put the eyeshadow so you really get your pop of colour. So I'm going to go ahead and do my base makeup and get that sorted and then come back to you with the fun part. So, diving into the main part of this look, as I said, it's going to be mainly an eyeshadow look, and I'm using a couple of brushes. This will depend on what flag you choose to do. Obviously, as I'm doing the Philadelphia rainbow flag with black and brown, I need a couple of brushes, so I actually need this one as well. This will be for the black and brown, and then I've got one for kind of the blues, the greens, the purples, the oranges, the reds, the yellows, and then this one's just a bit smaller because I've not got a lot of lid space as I've got quite hooded eyes, so I just need a little smaller one to work with. But I would encourage you to kind of reuse your brushes. You don't need a fresh brush all the time. This is going to help you with blending. So let's just go for it, I guess. So first we have to start with purple. Purple, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. And then we're going to do black brown, but that's going to be slightly different. So let's just go straight in with some purple. Oh, let's get rid of that crease. So I'm going to start kind of midway in the eye. And first I'm just going to look straight ahead into my mirror down here because when my eye is open, I want it to have a certain shape. So I want it to be slightly curved. Obviously I'm missing out a big chunk, but we'll get to that in a minute. Because right now I'm just making sure I get the shape I want. Now I'm taking it up to the brow because, again, when my eyes open, you can't actually see that much. This will depend on your eye shape, how you choose to do this, and how high you choose to go. But hey, for a pride look, let's just go for it, right? So I'll just fill that in there. And we've got our curve. Let's try and make it a little bit curvier. Don't worry if it starts to imprint onto your lower lid, that is fine. We can either bring that into the look later or clean it off. Let's try and bring that over a bit more. There we go. So it looks kind of curvy. But it's fine if it isn't that curvy. Okay, now blue. I'm mixing two blues because my blue's a bit dark and I want it to be a bit lighter. Again, you can use any eyeshadow colours that you want according to the flag that you would like to do, but also just use what you've got available. There are lots of accessible, cheaper options out there. Makeup Revolution is fantastic. I think they're great, and they do lots of bright palettes that are really affordable. Sleek Makeup is another option as well. Who else? Those are the main ones I can think of. So our blue. And it doesn't matter if it's not blended right now in terms of blended together. We'll get to that. It is a process. Okay, now green. Again, I'm mixing two, slightly darker one and then a lighter shimmery one because I want more of a springy green. You can see how we've got the curves now a little bit. And I'm going to bring the green, because it's kind of towards the end of my eye, slightly onto the underneath, because we are going to keep extending this in a kind of rounded, halo-y effect, if that makes sense. Okay. Now yellow. Good yellows are hard to come by. They are quite tricky. But then if you don't have a yellow and you'd like to do the rainbow, then you can sub it for a gold. It tends to be gold, or you can just skip straight to orange. Again, if you kind of mix a bit of green and orange, kind of overlap them, then you might get a little bit of yellow anyway, depending on what shadows you're working with. I've got some fallout there, so I'm just gonna take that away. Okay, so yellow, and I'm gonna start to go slightly above it now. Just bring that green up a tiny bit as well. Now orange. Now this is where I start to get carried away, and I know I'm going to end up making it really big, so you don't have to do it that big. You can keep the same kind of width of stripes that we've got so far if you want, but I just like to be extra, so you know. Okay. Now I've got a nice blendy brush now for a little bit more coverage and to really diffuse that colour. And as you can see, I'm not swiping it, I'm tapping it. Because with a blending brush, this starts to, well, blend it with the other colour that we have down. And yeah, it just diffuses it nicely. Now I'm going to go for red. And this is just so we can get the colour on. It looks quite kind of cool and watercolory at the moment, but I want more of a blend, so we'll get to that in a minute. Now I'm just really lightly holding this by the end, so I'm really not putting a lot of pressure on it. Just trying to blend that red out a tiny bit. Okay, so we've got the colour down, that's the basics of our look. And now I'm going to go back in and really start to overlap the colours to blend them together a bit more, so we have that nice rainbow kind of diffusion. Obviously you could keep it like this if you like, but I want to take it just a little bit further. So purple, so I've just got a bit of purple on the brush and I'm kind of going over that blue line. And I'm going to do the same thing with the blue. So there you can see there's a bit more of a gradient. Go back with the purple. And you can just do this until you're really happy with your kind of overlapping blend. But I will say, at some point, you just gotta stop. It's like a cat eyeliner. You just end up making it bigger and bigger and bigger. But at some point, you've just got to be like, that's enough. Okay, I'm happy with that. Let's go into green. I actually say the blue and the green. Blue and green are quite close, so in terms of the actual colours, so that's already blended together quite well. Again, I've got some fallout under there, so I'm just going to take a fluffy brush and get rid of it. Well, it's kind of still there, but we'll clean that up. We will clean it up. Okay. Yellow. Let's bring the yellow and the green together a bit. So I'm just kind of gonna lightly tug at the edges of the colour. To try and bring it together a bit more. Shimmers are a really good way of doing this if you're not as confident or experienced with your makeup skills, because shimmers tend to be a lot softer and they will blend a little bit easier. Mattes can be difficult. I'm kind of using a mixture, but for this green I'm using the shimmer because I mixed two colours. I'm using the shimmer colour to really help me basically with that blend that I'm looking for. The yellow I'm using is a matte. I don't have a yellow shimmer. That's fine. See, this is when I'm gonna get really fussy and I could just sit here for ages and just try and blend them together. Going over and over and over. But you gotta stop. But not yet. Okay, I'm happy with that. Got a little bit of green fallout here which is smudged, but that's fine. We're gonna go in with orange. And of course you could reverse this. You could do purple on the outside, red on the inside, and do it that way around. That would be a good idea if you have a lot of texture on your cheeks, or perhaps blemishes or redness, because obviously the red is gonna bring that out. That's why I put foundation on first, because I actually tried this the other day with without it, and I have some red texture on my cheek there, and it just brought it out. Just using a different brush for the yellow because it's really getting lost in that orange. Okay, now red. I'm gonna get a slightly bigger brush for the red, just because this is gonna blend it into our skin a little bit more. This is clean for the moment, so I'm just gonna try and bring that red edge into our skin, and because I've put foundation on first, it's gonna mix with that foundation and give us just a bit more of a diffusion, which is what we want. This is a big kind of blendy, contoury highlight brush. And see, just dabbing it there, it's doing the work for you. So I'm doing a combination of tapping and then lightly bring it out again. Look, my hand is at the end of the brush. I'm not putting a lot of pressure on it. I'm letting the brush do its job. Okay, I'm quite happy with that blend. Looks cute, like a 80s blush moment. I want a little bit more of that concentration of colour, so I'm just going to go back in here. You can use these light circular motions so we're not ruining the blend we've just done at all. I'm going to do a little bit of orange just to blend that in. And you can take this as big as you want, kind of following that roundness shape around your eye. It is up to you. I'm just going to go in and I want to bring this green up a bit more. This is me just being fussy now. Bit of that purple. And you can see we've got that purple down there, so I'm actually just gonna pop a little bit there intentionally. So blending this red in can be kind of tricky, or any colour really, and a trick that I like to use is, because I've already got foundation on, that's obviously helping it and it's blending with my skin tone as well, but I'm going to take my foundation brush, which has a little bit of product left on it. If it's quite dry, you could put a tiny bit of product on it, and you just tap it, kind of slightly touching the colour that you're trying to blend it in with, and that will really help to diffuse it nicely. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to be adding black and brown as well, and this usually goes at the end of the red, but for the look I've decided to do it in a different place, and what I'm going to do is make it a sort of liner. So I've got an angled brush here. This is actually an eyebrow brush, but I like it because it's long and so you don't have to do as much with it. I'm gonna slightly point it in there and then draw myself a little beginning of a liner here. You can use liquid liner if you like, but because of, well, I don't like liquid liner first of all, but because the rest is eyeshadow, that will be a stark difference, because liquid liner can look quite kind of wet and shiny instead of matte, so I'm going for a matte black. Just want to darken that up. I have a black here. It's got a little bit of shimmer in it from Kiko, so I'm going to use that. Don't worry if it's not perfect. We're not here for things to be perfect, we're here to have fun and to show our colours. So that's black. So now I'm going to go in with the brown, and as I've got quite hooded eyes, as I have mentioned, you can see how that black is imprinting there on my eye. Well, in order to be able to see this brown, it's probably going to have to go quite high. That's fine. I want it to be able to be seen when I've got my eyes open like this and not just the black liner. So I'm just going to put this on the top of the black liner. Try not to blend them together too much because I want these to be quite distinct. You see, look how much I've put on, and you can't see it when I open my eye. So we gotta go higher, that is fine. Again, this is my preference. I like to use pretty much my entire eyelid. I'm not shy about that. But if you don't like that kind of look, it's fine. You can just have a hint of black and a hint of brown at the front of the eye. I would make sure that they're quite distinct and crisp if you're going to do it like that. I could go the whole way up, but I don't want to, so I'm not going to. I think I'm going to keep it about there. Let's just make sure that that bit is actually covered. Switch to a different brush just so I can get in there and deepen that colour a bit. It's starting to connect with the purple a bit, so I'm just going to go back in with the purple slightly and just buff up that colour. Okay, so that is more or less our eyeshadow look. If you wanted to blend this brown, that's totally fine. I don't want to. I am actually just going to put a little bit of shimmer though in that little area. Let me grab a brush. I'm going to take one of these, just not too bright shimmers. I have a kind of goldy and pinky one, and just put this here just for a bit of something. Okay, my loves, there we have it. My Pride makeup look featuring the Philadelphia rainbow flag. As you can see, I've just done it on the one side. Like I said, you can put it on the other side. You could do something else to this side. You could have like one of those fancy rainbow eyelashes. You could put glitter on this side. Like, do what you want, babes. Have some fun. Chuck some colour on and go for it. I hope you enjoyed that. You can find me over on Instagram and Facebook, sometimes Pinterest, at Head Blush. It's like head rush, but blush, as in blusher. So yeah, have a great online Pride.